Welcome to the Power Couples Toolbox, hosted by Nathan and Lacey Bird. Seeing the high rate of divorce and the different ways relationships are under attack today, the Toolbox has created a network where relevant information can be accessed, communities can be formed, and transformation can take place.
It is our goal to supply you with valuable tools and resources to help you and your relationship thrive and to connect you with other power couples around the world.
The Power Couple Toolbox is your marriage resource center, so join us for this next episode. Do you ever feel like you guys are just butting heads together in your relationship and just cannot get through? Well, that is exactly what we're going to be touching on today. My name is Nathan Bird, and this is my lovely wife, Lacey. And what do we got for him today?
So they say in a relationship that two people become one in marriage. The trouble starts when they try to decide which one. Do you ever feel like you're in your relationship and you're frustrated with your spouse because they're not doing things the way that you do things or the way that you want things done? That's what we're going to be talking about today, is sharing power and how to share that power. You see, when we get into a relationship, depending, especially now with people getting married later and later in life, what happens is we've already created and established a way that we do things, and we have gotten used to kind of being the conductor of our life. And then you get married and there's another person that is at the steering wheel as well. So being able to share that power and not fight over the throne and being able to be a real team is what we're going to dive into a little bit.
Let's talk about a fight. How about it?
So what is an example?
That's what I was going to go into. So anyway, Lacey and I, we moved from San Diego up to Alaska, and during that time we were on a road trip and we were camping at different sites. Well, I can remember when I wanted to pump up the air mattress a certain way, and she had her way of pumping it up. And what happened was we went back and forth on the littlest topic of like do you use the air pump and pump up the mattress inside of the tent, or do you use the automatic pump where we had to plug it into the car and then drag the air mattress all the way to the tent? So Lacey was thinking one thing and I was thinking another about efficiency and whatnot. But what I looked at is a lot of people have different ways to solving problems, and power is, and also leadership is about installing a belief in that other person to allow them to be their best self. How did you take that?
So in the story that he's talking about, we were camping and we were setting up camp, and we had kind of split up the tasks of who's doing what. And I was setting up the air mattress. Well, we had a little hand pump with the air mattress, and I look at, okay, the air mattress is not going to fit in the hole of the tent once it's blown up. So I put the air mattress in the tent and I started blowing it up with the hand pump. Well, he started getting super frustrated that I was using the hand pump when instead, in his eyes, the air mattress should have been pumped up at the car with the electric pump, and then we take it over to the tent and stuff it in. So in that scenario, he was getting frustrated about how I was doing something, even though it really didn't affect him. I was the one that was blowing up the air mattress. And, this happens with all, like, the smallest little things. I mean, it happens with, we've heard so many couples talking about how they argue over the dishwasher and how dishes are done and put away. And, whatever it is in your relationship, I'm sure you can think back on those little things where at the end of the day, we are looking at how they're doing something and we want to be so quick to criticize or judge because we're viewing their actions and the scenario through our lens of things that we've experienced, seen, heard, learned, whatever, you name it. Well, they have a completely different lens and perspective. So what happens is we start, instead of letting them just do what they're going to do and empowering them to do it and letting them do it their way, we want to control and fix and teach and tell them what they're not doing right and how they're doing it. And, a lot of frustrations arise from this exact thing where we're looking at the little things that our spouse is doing and we're judging it based on how we would do things.
Well, I believe it's all about the lens at which you view your spouse, right? The way that you value them, and if they can provide value, then it's really a great, connection amongst you two. And it's about, are you perceiving your spouse as an asset or a liability? And I believe that's very important because sometimes when you look at the negative aspects of what they do in your life, that immediately pulls you into what we call the dark room, and we never want to enter that. And if we do, then we address it quickly and we start to build on more of the positive attributes that you have in our relationship. It's not always perfect, but when you realize it, then you can get out of it quickly.
Well, and I think too, some of the things that we've done personally in our relationship is we've done different like strength finder tests and personality tests to be able to better understand ourselves and what we are good at and where we do excel. And then that way we can better communicate to each other. So rather than me being frustrated that he isn't like a mini me, right? And he isn't molding into what I want and how I do things, because ultimately that wouldn't be a very good relationship having two of me. We would only get so far. But being able to empower each other in each other's strengths and then kind of work together in that dynamic is so powerful, because when you focus on what they're great at rather than what they suck at, then you're going to be seeing them through that lens of, wow, he is so good at facilitating things and making sure things get done, rather than being frustrated that he just like leaves things around behind him and never picks up after him. It's he's not thinking about all those little details. He's thinking about big picture, and I tend to focus on more details. And so when you have that together, we can either really frustrate each other that he's not being more detail oriented, or we can use that and work shoulder to shoulder and work towards building a better relationship rather than fighting each other and not really getting anywhere other than building walls. We're able to empower each other to move forward as a team.
Well, we've experienced in our relationship, and we've seen others do the same, is one person tries to take everything on themselves and then move forward in that way, hoping that other person will just jump on and continue at the same rate that other person is. Well, that doesn't always work, and that comes back down to the vision that you both have created for the future of your relationship, and then how you're going to use the assets that both of you have. And that takes patience, that takes understanding, and that takes really viewing and observing your partner to find out what their best strengths are, so then you guys can be better together.
Yeah, and like he said, with having goals for your relationship, and not just, we don't just have goals of like, it's not all about what we want together. I have my own personal goals and he has his own personal goals. But the key is enrolling each other in those goals and in that future, so we can help each other achieve that, rather than feeling like we're constantly competing against each other and just irritated with each other and all the negative emotions because we're focusing on little tiny things. If we instead have a vision of, this is what we want and this is where we want to go and this is why, then we can support each other in that, and we can use our strengths to come together and outsource the things that we both suck at.
Yeah, I think it's important to just continue to come together, set your vision, and know how to get there with tools. And do we have some tools for them today?
Yeah, so I would like to just kind of reference a couple of the different personality tests that we've done and enjoyed. We did the Strengths Finder test by, who's that by?
Gallup.
By Gallup.
Very good.
The Neo Big 5 personality test is a good one for strengths. Enneagram is a good one for better identifying your own personality. If you haven't done the love language test, that's extremely important to understand how you love and how you receive love. And just better understanding yourself. The better that you understand yourself, the better you can communicate that, and the better then you can receive that your partner is different from you. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest key to sharing power, is understanding that your partner is different than you, and not just in the bad ways. They're also different than you, and they have strengths that you don't have. So being able to utilize that and work with that rather than fighting it will get you much further.
I do believe it's also very important to know that you're not alone, and every couple goes through different scenarios where they think that they're the only couple, struggling through this, and that's why we've created this video and also podcast for you, because we're going through the same things, but we're just being intentional about building and learning the tools so that we can share with you guys. So anyway, if you have liked this video and podcast, feel free to subscribe and also check out our YouTube channel. PowerCoupleToolbox.com is going to be your website to go and check out the podcast. And we'll see you again soon.